Hey guys, post-editing Ryan here. I noticed something while filming the video and editing the video. The audio sounds a little weird. I had my microphone flipped from the awards show and I had it on the wrong setting. I'm not filming this for the third time, so enjoy it with the warbled audio and we will be back with proper audio in the next video. Sorry about that, guys, and enjoy the video. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Nacho Wrestling and Happy New Year! 2026 is officially started as of this video coming out, and 2025 is in the rearview mirror. And I figured what better way to take a look back at 2025 other than my award show that I did. If you haven't watched that, please go check it out. But is to take a look back at a video I made about a year or so ago, and that was top 10 things that I wanted to see in 2025. And we're going to take a look at those 10 things, and we're going to see if they were a hit or a miss. Did I get what I wanted, or was I left a little empty-handed? We're going to find out, but before we do that, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to stay up to date on all things Nacho Wrestling, and if this is your first time watching a Nacho Wrestling video, why don't you consider hitting the subscribe button? I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers, and your help would be greatly appreciated. With that out of the way, let's take a look back at the 10 things I wanted to see in 2025. So the first thing we have up is number 10, and it of course is that AEW needs to hire new writers/producers. Not sure if they actually did this. I wasn't really that clued in on the behind the scenes and hirings and firings of writers and producers for both companies. So I can't really say if this is a hit or a miss, so I'm just gonna decline to comment. Moving on. Number 9, I had more Willow Nightingale. I think I would call this a hit. We have Willow as a tag team champion right now with Harley Cameron as the Babes of Wrath, the inaugural AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions, which is something pretty cool, something I don't think anyone really thought AEW would do for their women's division, you know, seeing as Tony Khan does a lot of booking malpractice for the women's division. But it was a nice breath of fresh air for the women's division, and it's awesome to see Willow hold some gold. Hopefully it'll lead to some singles gold down the line in 2026, because I want even more Willow Nightingale in 2026. Number 8 was better long-term storytelling, and this was across the board for both companies, and hell, honestly, you could throw New Japan and TNA in there too. I really love long-term storytelling. I love when they come back to stories over and over again, give them time to breathe, but then build up to them and really make it more impactful. Look at the MJF CM Punk stuff. Look at whenever MJF and Hangman Adam Page meet in the ring, for example. That's a big one right there. Every time they meet in the ring, you know, they don't really always meet in the ring. It's not every week MJF and Hangman are out there adding stuff to the lineage of their feud, but it's over time that they have built up something that when they do meet in the ring, whether it's a promo or whether it's a match, it is very impactful because he's the face, you know, the good guy, and MJF is the bad guy, the heel. They're the prime face and prime heel of AEW, and I think that shows every time they're out in the ring together. I wouldn't say I got this, though. I would say it's a miss because, especially on the WWE side of things, if you take a look at how WWE has been doing their booking as of late, they book for virality's sake, they book for clicks on social media, and they book for what's going to get the biggest reaction, not only from the crowd on hand at the shows, but also the crowd that's watching at home and tweeting about it and Instagram reeling about it. All of that stuff, that's who they book for now. So I would say that this is a miss. Here we got another big miss. More wrestling on WWE PLEs. Not even close. I think we had less wrestling on WWE PLEs this year than we did anything, and that sucks. But you know, you live and you learn. Obviously, we weren't going to get this. This was kind of like my throwing a needle in this haystack and hoping I could come back and find the needle. And honestly, I don't even think I threw the needle in the haystack at this point. That's how long I've been looking for it. I don't really think that AEW can say that they've done better with their wrestling on pay-per-views either, because sometimes their shows can be slogs. No one's found that perfect middle ground yet. 4 matches is not enough, but 11 to 12 matches is way too much. Try to find that perfect middle ground of about 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 matches, but once you're reaching that 8 or 9, 10 plus territory, it becomes a bit of an issue as well. So more wrestling from WWE, miss, and like more breathable shows, I guess, from AEW kind of sort of got towards the tail end of the year, but the first like couple of months, like Revolution 2025, ooh boy, that was tough. That was tough. But again, another miss for me. Number 6, we have Chad Gable's getting some gold, and I don't think Chad Gable won anything this year, and I don't think El Grande Americano, while Chad Gable was him, didn't win anything either. So, big ol' fat miss right here. Speaking of El Grande Americano and Chad Gable, no idea if he's ever going to come back to that role. No idea if he's ever going to come back to the WWE at all at this point. I know he went out with an injury and was gone for a little bit. We have not seen him since, as far as I'm aware, and I don't know if we're ever going to see him again, like I said. But what they're doing now with Ludwig Kaiser as El Grande Americano, quirked up white boy speaking Spanish, pretty cool, not terrible, could be worse. Could have been what they were doing before with like the steel head plate and just kind of being like vaguely racist. So, we won something. We won something here. Up at number 5, we have making tag team wrestling great again, and I feel like I was maybe a year off with this one, if I'm being honest. Tag team wrestling is definitely on the come up in the latter half of 2025, with teams like the Hurt Syndicate, Brodito, FTR having a bit of a renaissance, the Young Bucks having a bit of a renaissance. And even over in WWE, you have some stuff going on with the tag division. Primarily on SmackDown, you have the Motor City Machine Guns, you have Los Garzas, you have the Wyatt Six, you have everything else. I'm trying to think. Judgment Day as well is still going strong over on Raw. Dragon Lee and AJ Styles have made a fun pairing together. The New Day are still doing stuff. So tag team wrestling is still alive and well. Has it been revolutionized this year? No, but I think 2026 could be the year of the tag team again. So, knock on wood for that one. Number 4, this is a big hit, I think. It was AEW running in different, smaller, different layout venues. Of course, they did the 2300 Arena residency, the old ECW Arena. They did the Hammerstein Ballroom. They've done a lot of different places, different amphitheaters, the Esports Arena in Dallas, Texas, everything like that. They have done a lot of great stuff in a lot of different places. And I think that really helped their weekly live TV shows. They're a lot more lively, they're a lot more into the show than when AEW was running in solely arena shows, which, does hinder the crowd when, we gotta call a spade a spade. You can't fill half the arena. It kind of sounds like shit in there when the crowd is dead silent and you can hear someone make fun of a backstage promo. Not a great look, so these smaller, intimate venues have been fun, and it looks like they're going to be doing it continuously in 2026 as well, announcing that they're doing some shows January in the Esports Arena in Dallas. Collision is going to have a residency there, and then they're obviously running in some amphitheaters again. Maximum Carnage is in some sort of amphitheater at the top of January and everything like that. So, and of course, there are the sprinklings of arena shows here and there for the weekly TV, but for the most part, they're sticking to doing different venues, which I think really helps give an alternative presentation to WWE. Coming in at number 3, we had CM Punk winning the world title, and this was more CM Punk having a real run with the world title, because I was not a, soothsayer, a fortune teller, or anything like that. I did not see CM Punk winning at SummerSlam and then losing it immediately to Seth Rollins as an option. But when that happened, I was fully prepared to not count that as it happening, because I wanted a legit run. Thankfully, he's having a legit run now with the big gold belt, and I think that's fun. I think that's great. Probably the last run with a world title he's ever going to have. So let him go out on top. Let him go out having some fun, and let him put over a guy that he wants to put over, whoever that is. The penultimate thing that I wanted to see in 2025 was that the women, no matter who it was, should have main evented night 1 of WrestleMania. And I say should have because they did not. This is another miss for me. It was main evented by, of course, John Cena and Cody Rhodes on night 2, but then night 1 was headlined by CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. So, I get it. the story may have been a little more interesting for the fans and the casual fans, like, oh, CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns all in one ring? How can WWE contain all of this? So, sure, I guess that was maybe the more interesting story, the more meatier story, whatever you want to say, but in all honesty, the main event of night 1 should have been that Rhea Bianca Io match that opened night 2, because that match fucking blew the house down. That match was so good. It was featured on my Female Match of the Year in my award show. Again, if you haven't watched my award show, go check it out now. And coming in at number 1, we had Stop Bickering and Focus on Yourself. This was mainly for the tribalistic wrestling fans, which, you know, I'm guilty of being a little tribalistic myself, I'll be honest. I do prefer AEW over WWE, but I'm very forthcoming and honest about that. Whereas a lot of wrestling fans, I feel like, will kind of not tell you one way or another, and then they'll catch you slipping up, talking bad about the company they love, and then they go off on you. I feel like that's kind of the issue. You know, I can find why someone would like WWE if they're a big, just pop culture fan, because of all the integration stuff that WWE does now. Okay, I get it. If you're a big fan of shitty comedians, then you're going to love WWE. But if you're a fan of wrestling, if you're a fan of, you know, just watching two guys, like, put on a beautiful performance and art that is professional wrestling, then you're going to like AEW. And that's just how it is. Everyone has their tastes, their opinions, and, you know, just like assholes. Everyone's got one. So it doesn't matter whether you like AEW or hate AEW, like WWE or hate WWE. You just gotta worry about yourself. Worry about a company you care about. Stop worrying about the company that you don't care about. You know what I mean? I don't think this happened in 2025. This was kind of like a nebulous thing to put at number 1. It was a little tough to gauge whether it happened or not. I feel like a lot of ride or die, like, AEW fans are obviously still ride or die AEW, but I feel like the haters of AEW have just been dying out a little bit, and not saying that they're fans of AEW now, but they've just given up, you know, because there's no point. Because the sickos, the like diehard AEW fans, kind of come back tenfold on these guys. So I understand why you would quit attacking if you're getting attacked worse. Kind of makes sense. Well, that is it. That is everything that I wanted to see in 2025. I got a couple things that I wanted to see, but overall, I did pretty bad. I didn't really get to see everything I wanted to see, but, you know, it is what it is. They don't book everything just for Ryan or Nacho, whatever you guys want to call me, but they do book for everybody. And if you wanted to see some of these things in 2025 that I didn't want to see, by all means, good for you. I'm glad you had a fun year watching wrestling. But here's to a good 2026 for all companies: WWE, AEW, New Japan, TNA, Ring of Honor, NXT, etc., the independent circuit, all of them. I hope all wrestling promotions prosper and just have a great 2026, because honestly, that's what's most important at the end of the day, is that these companies' success and they thrive and we're able to support them, because if there's no companies to support, there's no wrestling to watch. If there's no wrestling to watch, these wrestlers don't have jobs. And then these wrestlers have to go do something else. So, and it's what they love at the end of the day. So, not to get all sappy and emotional, but that is what it is. Let me know what you guys thought about this video down below. Let me know if you guys want to see me do a top 10 things I want to see in 2026, and maybe I'll do that, but probably not. So, with that being said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to stay up to date on all things Nacho Wrestling, and I will see you guys next time.